Yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Poncho here. Welcome to episode 6 of our podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, this is a podcast for artists, musicians, creative entrepreneurs, anyone looking to take their passion for music and art and turn it into a full-time business. So if that's you, subscribe, tap in with the community. I'm here with my co-host today, Cruz.
What's going on, y'all? Great to see y'all again. And today we got Ali, the greatest, bro.
Greatest,
bro. One of the greatest producers to come out of this county, bro. You're a Westchester native, proud Westchester native. Always talking about, always repping the county and everywhere you're from. So it's great to have you today, bro. I'm excited about this one for a fact. How you feeling?
Appreciate y'all, man. I feel great. I'm
here. Yeah, for a fact. For a fact. You know I mean? Glad to have you on here.
I'm glad we can make this happen. So, real quick, could you just tell the people a little bit, where you grew up, your story, how you got into music, and what you currently do today?
Sure. So, originally from Mount Vernon, New York. We kind of just had this kind of a little.
Yeah, in fact, y'all was saying it. I'm like, y'all, you're going to have to say this again.
Nah, so I'm like thinking, what did I just say? Always repping Mount Vernon, New York. The 4 square miles. Piggybacking off of our convo, a lot of people don't know this. So I was born in New Rochelle. So I got some New Rochelle ties too, but Westchester, you know what I mean? Westchester. I'm from Westchester. I moved from Mount Vernon to White Plains area, then went to Harrison, and so that's why I always say Mount Vernon first, because Mount Vernon is home for then Westchester, 4 square miles. You know what I mean? So I'm a producer, engineer. I'm a rapper when I want to be. I'm a songwriter when I need to be. I'm a all around creative. You know what I mean? All around creative. I'm a part of what started out as a production collective called Undeniable Music. Shout out to my guy Rod, the producer. Iggy, You So Ignorant. My 2 cousins and my brothers. We started going on 10 years ago now.
Wow.
Shit.
Started Undeniable Music and been rocking ever since. You know what I mean? So I'm currently in Westchester. My studio's in Westchester. Shout out to Uni Music Studio. He's the host of the Slave Suite. That's my studio. That's where I'm at 99.9% of the time.
Shout out Guap.
You know what I mean? Shout out my man Guap. You know what I mean?
Shout out Iman as well.
All them. E-Man, Diesel, Guap, Russ, JT, Alex. You know what I mean? Shout out everybody.
Facts. Hell yeah. Wait, so how did you get into music to start?
Ooh, how much time we got?
It's going on like an hour. So
we got time.
Maybe a little less of that.
So, first things first, my grandfather's a jazz musician.
Okay.
So, running around with him as a young boy, I was at Jazzmobiles. I was in Harlem. I was in Brooklyn. We was all over. So me running around while he's he plays the all the brass instruments really, but sax and flute are his main. So me being around him and being around that essence and that element, like it was almost natural. You become what your surroundings become. So from there, travel along. Music's always been around. I born Muslim, but however, I used to go to church early on. So I'm in church and I'm, the drums and the organ and I'm like, oh, nah, this is hitting. So it was just there. It was the element. So, fast forward, I ended up connecting with Iggy and Rod. Rod, one thing about him, he's been a musician, has been playing for years. And
Rod is filthy on the kids. Shout out Rod.
Nah, most def. Most def. But nah, he's been playing and been around for a while. So we all connected in church, through church. So from there, we started Undeniable Music, and here I am.
Fire.
Yeah.
The church definitely be making the musical bonds for sure. I've seen there's so many artists that I look up to that have just built their foundation in church, just like instilling that.
Zaytoven,
music,
that's the biggest one. Yeah, hell yeah.
Definitely.
Hell yeah. All right, so this podcast being for artists and the people tuning in, for the most part, going to be artists. Let's say I'm a young artist, right? And I see Ali. I see Ali's Instagram. Like, oh shit, he's dope. He has these credits. His beats are fire. How would an artist go about approaching you to work? What are some things that artists should do and shouldn't do when it comes to wanting to approach a producer they fuck with to work?
I think it's really as simple for definitely for me, and I think that this is what it should be for a lot of others who are in my position and close to it or beyond even. Hit me in the DM. It's just as simple as that. Like I hit artists that I want to work with in the DM, and or if I know someone who knows someone and their relationship is solid, I might go that route. Just to because it's coming from a reference, it's coming from a credible source. But it's as simple as just hit me in the DM, and it's either gonna make it happen or we're gonna figure out something.
What does that DM look like?
When giving, like me sending it, or
an artist sending it to you, what should they say or what should they not say?
It all depends. I would just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Like, hey, one thing that I've learned in my short college career before I dropped out and started pursuing music full time.
I feel that.
Just thought I'd throw that in there real quick. One thing that I've learned is that two things. Shout out to Robert Perimsky, who's one of the greatest professors ever, still the homie to this day. But one thing that he taught me was, one, people respond to incentives, and two, people work with who they like and who they know.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So I've always ran with that. I've always took that and made that make sense.
Yeah.
Like if there's somebody that I know I might have to put a little work in before I can, or I might not even be ready to work with that person, but I know that I can do something to build that relationship. So when it comes time for me to work with that person, it's like, okay, cool. You know me and you like me already, so what's up? Yeah. Versus who are you? Oh, let me listen to your beats. Let me see what you did. Let me see this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? So it's always about the relationship. I feel like I sidetracked a little bit, so I'm going to bring it back home like this. So, in the DM, state your intention. It's simple. Yo, what's up? What's going on, bro? Perfect example. And shout out to Moo Fresh. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Moo Fresh. Grammy-nominated singer, rapper, creative, Philly as well. She actually hit me to work today, but it was super, hey, she's Muslim, Assalamu alaikum, I want to inquire about working. Perfect model, perfect example. Straight to the point, you saying what you need to get across, and then boom. Now, everybody isn't the same, and everybody, is different. So I've had people ask a whole bunch of different questions, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm the type of person, if I don't have the time or if I can't do it, I just can't do it. But I'm never on no oh nah, who are you? I'm not answering you. Or
some Hollywood shit.
Nah, because it's at the end of the day, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's got to make sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm an entrepreneur. I run a business. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everybody's money's green. You know what I'm saying? However, I'm going to let the artist know where they stand and if something could be done or not. I might direct it to someone else who might be more fitting for that situation. Okay, word. You know what I mean? It might not be for me. Yeah. So, but I know someone who could really facilitate and get you to where you need to be. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's a business. Everybody's money's green. But it's the music that matters the most. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on some pushing buttons and just gonna sit back and go to sleep. Yeah, that sound good. I'm not one of them. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not one of them. But
for a fact, I feel that. Yeah. Nah, I definitely like that though. I feel like that just being that bridging the gap type of, whether you're a producer, a manager, or whatever sort of role, and just taking that on more explicitly. I feel like that's something that more people should recognize. I know in the lawyer world, I'm going into being an entertainment lawyer. Right. In that world, it makes a lot of sense because it's I don't really have the time, so I'll pass you on to a lower level attorney of whatever sense and let them do the work for you because you're a little bit less hands-on or less needy, I guess, or just require less type of skill. So I think in other roles as well, that definitely makes sense. So that's dope to hear for sure.
One other thing real quick, have you ever got a message from an artist that you're just hell fucking no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get like a lot of, and I don't know if it's like spam driven, but like, because one thing, first of all, I hope IG is watching this right now, because IG, whenever I post, I get wild spams and all that. But sometimes in the spams, it'll be like such and such from wherever in the Midwest. Like, yo, I just put out my first song ever. What you think? I'm going to tell you what I think.
Yeah?
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Word.
But again, I'm not going to be on, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you the constructive of what you need. You need to work on your timing. You need to work on your cadence. Maybe you should try to put more emphasis on this or on that, or maybe you should do some doubles and some ad-libs. Like, I'm going to give you some work and some different techniques and stuff to try for the next time that you approach what you need to approach in the stew. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just going to go, like, I don't like that. That's whack. Nah. Like, I hate that.
The spam shit is crazy, though. Don't make your approach look spammy. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Now, you mentioned something earlier that you said that people like to work with who they know or who they get along with, for sure. So I'm wondering your approach to networking and just getting to know people that, might be a little out of your reach, or, or might seem in that way, just sort of like I haven't accomplished that level of skill or just credits yet. Would you call yourself an opportunistic or a patient networker? Like, if you see somebody in the studio or in your realm that's like sort of like, I could shoot my shot now, or I could be like, just plant my seeds for the future, that might be a relationship I could build off of. Like, how do you navigate those? I'm sure it's situation to situation, but how would you describe yourself or your approach to that?
First and foremost, that's a great question, and this is something that I had to learn, because I used to be the opportunistic person. I think that's
I need this right now.
Yeah, I need this right now. Oh, he's right there.
Yeah,
Bang.
you got to do that.
And
yeah,
no, there's a time and place for everything. You might have whoever the artist's next record, the next biggest, and you know it because everybody done told you that this is what it is, and it's like, yo, if you see son, you better run down and. But if you don't know son, and if you don't know nobody that knows son, that's not the approach.
It's not the approach. Yeah,
that's not the approach either way, but that's not the approach.
Yeah.
Perfect example. I did, and shout out to PJ and YB for this. I had did Dave East's. I had scored an episode of Dave East's documentary for his last album, Survival.
Boy.
So. We in the city. Shout out to Mike Cuz, pardon. We in the city. We getting it done, trying to get it right. It comes out, everything's done. Didn't meet these. I start working with Tone Trump. Tone has a meet and greet at Halal Bros in Queens. East pulls up. Davies don't know me. I don't know him. We've done business together though. Okay, cool. I simply go, yo, what's going on, bro? What's up? Yo, I did such and such. I was like, oh, yo, what up? Boom, boom. Relationship starts. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But it could have went totally left. It could have been like, yo, I should be in that picture over there because I'm the one that did. And I should be. It's just like, nah. Like, one, like everybody don't gotta know. If you know what you did and it's done and it's there, like everybody don't gotta know what you did. Everybody don't gotta know what you done. Like, you don't gotta. Like, your work will speak for itself. Your name and the people that you do and work with will speak for itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I will say this, though. If an opportunity presents itself, you strategize and you figure out the right way to capitalize that opportunity. Yeah. Like, you put your first foot, the right foot forward, and, you take the right approach and you do what you need to do to capitalize. You don't let things pass.
Yeah, be assertive. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You leave there with a contact, a name, a something. You know what I mean?
Like, if it's the one time that you're going to run into Drake, like, maybe you put something that's not too pushing onto him.
I don't care if it's the 500th groupie. You speak to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you do, you know what I mean? Like, you get something something.
But I know for me personally, like if I expect to run into you in the future and like just based off like we have a similar circle, I'm not really gonna be super pressing to like I'm maybe let you know my face, maybe my name somehow, but I'm not gonna be like yo, let's and then I have to see you a bunch of times. Yeah, like we'll cross paths in that sense. I'm not really super worried about making sure you know me right away.
Exactly.
So if I'm doing good stuff, and it also pushes myself too in that same way.
That's a fact. Because if you want like if I'm on my shit and I'm going and I'm working and I'm doing what I got to do and being where I'm gonna be, and if you're keeping up to your standard and everything, we're gonna cross paths again.
Yeah. If you putting in work, like the people that you're looking up to that want to work with you, they'll hit you
Without a doubt.
Without
a doubt.
That's what I'm learning.
So we were talking, or you mentioned it before. You own a studio,
yes,
and I think it's dope. I mean, we're in a studio as well, and
yes.
I understand like a lot of benefits that comes with. I also understand some of the downsides that come with. So, for artists, right? Do you think that's a route that recording artists should take, investing in their own studio, or do you think it would be a more efficient route to pay someone studio time and then put the money towards marketing, image, anything else?
I think to a certain level and certain degree, yes. Every artist should have their own. I'm not going to classify it as studio simply because the words, being that I've been doing it so long, like the word studio means like business and running full force. And sometimes, a lot of the times, because I experience that all the time, it takes away from the actual creative side because you got to focus on the business. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say every artist should definitely have whatever it is. It could be anything, like your own space away from where you sleep, if that's possible, but away from where you sleep to where that's your own personal space to, you know what I mean?
Your getaway to start to work and
exactly.
Be creative.
And once that's established, then you decide like, all right, I'll take some outside sessions and I'll take some when Slave Suite first started, it was a if you know type of thing. Like I wasn't taking not just because I really wanted the control and the time to work on what I need to work on creatively for me. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to be in sessions 12 to 12, Monday through Monday. Like it's like I've been there. Like it's not fun. It's not fun. But I definitely recommend that. And it could be anything, like anywhere. Like it could be a base. Shoot, I've been in some places, man. I'd say it could be anywhere. You know what I mean?
It gets the job done.
Exactly. You get the job done.
Yeah.
You know
One of the things you say a lot is learn what you can if you have the time and the opportunity to learn something new, a new skill that will contribute to your career. If you could really get that in, so if you're an artist, would you say that's worth investing into your production, understanding at least so you could communicate to the engineer or engineer yourself? I mean, for sure, if you have the time, right?
Of course, if you have the time to, like, I think every creative should know everything. Like
everything in their field.
If I'm primarily an artist, I want to know baseline production techniques and terms and such, and you know what I mean?
So you're not like, yo, let me get this.
Right. I want my vocals to sound like, you know what I mean?
Know those terms at least a little bit, yeah.
God damn.
You know what I'm saying? But it's funny because, like, when you're sitting in the chair, it's like, okay, he means reverb.
Fact.
Facts. Are you talking about the? All right, so the hi-hats. Turn them down. Got it. All right.
Yeah. It helps all around for a fact.
Definitely. It's like I look at it like it's like someone owning a car. It's like I don't know everything that's under the hood, but I know when I might need an oil change. I know when I need a tune-up change. I know when my brakes ain't. You know what I mean? So I know the bass lines, and I know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's
I like that example for a fact. That's just so you could at least get by and make it sure that you're not really getting fucked up in like some way, shape, or form. Like know the bare minimum of the engineering that goes underneath your vocals and everything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if I can, while we on this topic, just to kind of piggyback off of that, because there's a lot of mechanics out here that prey PREY off of the fact that you might not know exactly what's going on into what you're getting or actually get worked on. You know what I mean? So I say that to say I've been in sessions and been in studios where it's you'll have the engineer that's just, you ready for your doubles now? in and outs, like, and it's like, yo, that vocal's distorted, or like, yo, that timing is off, like, yo, that. So it's really important to, really be in tune with what's going on in your session. You know what I mean? Because either you might be getting PRE-wide on, or it could have just been a mistake. Everybody's human. You know what I'm saying? But you got to just be in control and knows what's going on.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Another thing I want to touch on, because you have a perspective that I think a lot of people could learn from. So take someone like Tone, who it seems like you have a pretty close relationship with him, business relationship.
Yes, sir.
And then take someone like a Philly Freeway, or like a Davies, any artist that's really reached a substantial point in their career.
Right.
What is the difference between how those artists move and operate versus an artist on the come up?
First things first, like it's a different level. It's the professionalism, like doing things the correct way. And I'm not here to say like, oh, that's wrong or that's right, but it's like when you have the intention to deliver a product and to get a response that you want or that you intend to, you're gonna do it a different way. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of artists on the come up, with the exception of a couple, but a lot of artists on the come up feel like, oh, because he did it that way, I gotta do it that way. Oh, because that person made it like that, all right, cool, I'm gonna just follow that road. No, that's completely wrong. Like, what it took for that person to get from point A to point B isn't gonna be the same thing for you to get to point A to point B.
That shit worked 7 years ago. Like it might not work. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It could, but even if it worked 7 months ago, like, you don't.
Yeah.
First of all, you don't really know the exact step by step that person took. You know what you think you know, or what you heard, or what you heard from somebody that heard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you never really know, because you're not that person. You know what I'm saying? So one thing that I've noticed, that, for example, Tone, like, super particular when it comes to detail. You know what I mean? Like, we in IMI one day session, 1 foot in, 1 foot out session. He's looking. His cameras is always rolling. Kids, it's always a movie. The ox pop out. Shout out to Tone Trump. Shout out to MDF. Shout out to the whole fam. Shout out to Haas. He shoots a lot of this stuff. Seam, all of them. But he'll look at the shot, make sure. Oh, nah, I need my logos right there. Or nah, I need Creed 2 playing in the background right there, just to make the aesthetic and make everything what it needs to be. Let's take that model and let's talk music now. Okay, cool. I think we're going to have Rollo on the intro, because that's going to set the tone. You know what I'm saying? Like, just little pieces and little parts that really might get overlooked in most situations, but it really makes the outcome of what it's going to be. You know what I mean? So
interesting.
I would say, like, definitely detail.
Professionalism and attention to detail.
Like, yeah. And just moving with the intention that this is what you want. Like, if I want to be a millionaire, I'm acting like one already, but not acting like one with the ego intention, acting like one with the intention that I'm already there mentally. So it's just time that has to catch up.
Like walking like one, talking like one, dressing
like I'm there. I'm claiming it. It's mine already. I'm not blowing it all out in your face, and I'm not buying bottles in the bar and all that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm walking with my chest up and my chest out, because Allah's the best knower. That's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. That really reminds me of another conversation that, like, you've touched on before, and it's something that's personally near and dear to me. It's just understanding the contributions of your collaborators. So, for instance, what some would consider a producer versus an engineer or a beat maker, I think there's an important distinction to be made there, just in the sense of, like, when you're touching on certain splits and the business relationships that you have with people, just understanding their contribution to the song. So I'm wondering if you could speak on, like, how to look at producers, whether that the way I look at producer is like a more encompassing term that may break off into beat maker, engineer, composer, things like that. So like that distinction that could be made, like, you know, like if you're working with somebody that specifically made your beat and they didn't touch on your song, how do you navigate those splits and business conversations as well? So you know, that's a pretty general topic to touch on. So feel free to touch on it however you want to.
No,
whether that
for
be
sure.
just splits or, you know, just understanding.
So first thing I'm gonna touch on in that regard is correct. A beat maker isn't always a producer.
Yeah.
An engineer isn't always a producer. A producer, however, can be all of the above.
Yeah.
I'm all of the above.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I'm really particular when it comes to that, just because it could be a lot of gray area when it comes to certain things like that. Like, there have been records that I've produced that I didn't touch anything musically on. But the person that next to me did, and it was my direction and, you know, my input as well as his or hers, or, you know what I mean? So it's I look at a producer as the director of the musical composition.
Yeah.
I need those vocals up. I need those ad-libs up. I need more reverb on that. Turn that down to 2 dB a little bit. Let's compress that a little bit. Give me more attack on this. Like that, knowing what to do, when to do it, to get the sonic that needs to be given and gotten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I look at a beat maker, and there's been times that I've been a beat maker in the situation, and that was it. You know what I mean? So I've worn multiple hats and like done a lot of different shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beat maker would just, I made the beat, bang. Now it's up to the producer. Okay, cool. This is the beat. Like, perfect example. When I get something, shout out to Zach made this. Me and him been
Young
cooking
Zach.
up.
Young Zach.
Zach got some shit, man. Zach got some shit.
Fine.
But me and him been cooking up. So, as well as a few others. Shout out to Dame Cozy. Shout out to After Party. You know, those are my guys. But so when I'll get like a beat from Zach, let's say. Perfect example. He sent me something last week. I got it. It's like, yo, I'm hearing something. I might need XYZ. Okay, cool. Let's listen. That's the first thing I'm gonna do with anything. If I'm mixing a record, if I'm mastering it, if I'm remaking anything, I'm listening to it. That's gonna let me know what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done, what needs to be changed. That's gonna give me my next step. And then from there, I'm going and I'm trying to figure out, all right, cool. How am I going? I hear what I want in my head, but how am I going to deliver? So then you just go and get what needs to be done. But damn, there was a point I was trying to make and I lost it. What was the question again?
About like maybe splits and things like
Splits,
that.
the distinction
Splits
between
and
producers,
distinguish
beat
it.
makers, or composers, whatever, and navigating those conversations.
So put it like that. When it comes to the splits, it's really just a conversation. It's like, okay, I did XYZ, I did this, I did that. You did this, you did that. I'm comfortable with this. How do you feel? Okay, cool.
Is that something that you explicitly ask? How do you feel? Like when you say your role, or is that, you know, something that, not explicitly, but
not word for word. Everybody's different.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like,
have those conversations.
it's an approach. Like, for example, if it's a UDM situation, undeniable music situation, it's evenly. Like, it's all going back to the squad. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight like that.
You know, it's crazy. I feel like so many, this goes to artists and producers, are just afraid to have conversations like that because they think it might damage the relationship or anything like that, which I have seen it do. There is some validity to that.
Yeah.
Validity. How would you go about maybe having that conversation? Like, young artist or young producer, first time, never had a conversation about this, never seen a split sheet in their life.
Right.
How would you advise them to go about having these conversations?
I would say initiate it and do it.
Don't shy away from it.
Right. Don't shy away from it. Don't shy away from it and expect that the artist is gonna bring it up when it's time,
Or vice versa.
or vice. Like, nah. Talk about it. Mention it. Like, I've always used the approach. Like, if I'm uncomfortable or in a situation where I don't really know something like that, like, all right, cool. I might crack a joke. You you know you paying for that, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some shit like that.
I'm fucking dead.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but just something of that nature, just to kind of like, you know what I mean? Just to kind of like
break.
Just get the mind going a little bit, just so you know, like, my manager might be calling you soon, or you know what I mean? Just something. Or just be right direct and be like, you know, so, you know, usually I go about it like this, but, you know, you might be a bigger artist that I've worked with in the past, so let's negotiate something. You know what I'm saying?
You do it in the session or you do it afterwards?
After the session. Yeah. So put it like this. If it's a situation where, you can use me for example. I hit Tone in the DM. I might have met him maybe, we started working literally right after that. But I might have met him maybe a couple weeks after. I go to Brooklyn. We have the session. After the first session, that's when conversations were had, and that's when, you know.
After the first session, in person or DM or text?
In this case, it was over the phone.
Yeah.
In this case, it was over the phone.
Texting or a call?
Right.
Texting.
And this was simply because I knew I would see Tone again. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't going to be a situation where, you know, I can't find him, or he's not answering the phone, or he's, you know what I mean? Like, I know I'm going to see him again. You know what I mean? And he's that type of person. Like, he's, you know what I mean? Like, he's a respectable, humble, like.
For sure.
No, we're going to take care of business and make sure everybody's good and make sure everybody's comfortable. All right, cool, this work. All right, boom. And now we can keep moving forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. I've had the privilege to be around Tone a lot too, because he moves in a circle in Philly. I've been around him. I haven't really like met him too much personally, but so he works with an organization I work with a lot in Philly, because I spent the last like year in Philly for a lot. The City of Dreams Coalition. Shout out to City of Dreams.
I know City of Dreams.
For sure. So I was one of their ambassadors over there. So I was working with them on internship out there. So
shoot, I want to say my aunt used to do something with them. City of Dreams. Shout out to
now they're dope for sure. Shout out Sister Talia. Shout out Tone Trump. Shout out Freeway. Freeway's always coming through. So Freeway, Tone Trump, super active over there.
Fire. That's dope.
Thanks.
Very dope.
But dope people over there for sure. How'd you wind up getting connected with Philly? Like, was it more through Tone Trump and just because you work with Freeway as well, so it's just one of those things.
It was. So I got family in Philly. Let's start with that.
Okay,
shout out to my Philly fam and all that. They might be on the live and all that. Europe. So, but I got family in Philly. I've been going to Thanksgiving in Philly since I was like 4.
Yeah, what part of Philly?
Right outside of Philly, Bluebell.
Okay, yeah.
Bluebell, Ambler, Whitpan area, like all that. So I've been going out there for a while. Got a lot of family out there. So that's my first introduction to Philly. And then, how did I get? So I've known of Tone Trump for years, but I just never thought of reaching out until somebody was like, yo, you should reach out and see what's up. Like, y'all both Muslim.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally that. Like, yo, y'all both
Muslim. Yeah.
I was like, yo, you know what? Yeah, for sure. Hit him in the DM. And off the strength of me being Muslim, he responded. Like, be straight up. It's like, yo, the only reason I answered your DM because I saw Ali. And I was like,
so yeah. So you didn't even mention that you were Muslim just based off your name? That
I greeted him. I gave him the greetings.
You gave him the greetings. Okay,
I gave him the greetings.
Yeah.
So, off the back, it was like something.
Word.
So from there, that's what it was.
Yeah, I feel like when you're reaching out to any artist that you have any sort of, not any sort of, but just a little connection that you could really make some
common ground.
Some common ground, maybe mention it, maybe subtly, maybe explicitly. But yeah, that's dope that worked out for you as well. Like little things like that could definitely, if you have a strong faith in one way, like if you mention to somebody else that shares that faith, that could be one bonding experience or just one way to get something to answer.
That's great. I never heard that one before. That's creative.
Definitely.
I want to take it back to one more business aspect that I feel like a lot of artists and producers struggle with. Let's talk paying for beats. So are there's a lot of ways we can go about this. All right.
It definitely is.
There definitely is, and that's really what I want to get into. Like, let's say I'm a young artist and I want to work with a producer that I fuck with. In this situation, let's say I do not have a budget.
Right.
I have no money.
Right.
How should I approach this producer and try and work something out? Should I not approach them? Should I offer something? What should I do in that situation?
You should approach them because you might run into somebody like a me that's going to work with you and try to figure something out.
What does figuring something out look like?
It could be a discount situation. It could be like a layaway situation. It could be half up front, half on the back end. Let's split payments. You know what I mean? Because again, it's about the music for me. You know what I'm saying? So if it's something that makes sense, and I see the passion, I see the drive, I see like, oh no, this is something like you hear all the time. You never cancel. Like, oh, you've been putting out music consistently for the past 8 months. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? Like I look at all of that. Like I look at the person of who I'm like working with. Like first session, if it's a new client, whether if it's just you coming to record at the studio, or if I'm producing something for you and we're working on a record, we're not doing anything musically first. We're having a conversation. You're telling me where you're from.
Major.
Yeah, you're telling me where you're from. You're telling me how your day was. You're telling me like, real shit. Real shit. Like you telling me like, and I'm gonna tell you we gonna vibe. We gonna get the vibe, you know what I'm saying? Start there, build that energy up a little bit, and then that's when the music and everything happens.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's. I feel like I gotta make a T-shirt that says it's about the music, but it's about the music though. Like I'm not one of those people, and everyone that works with me at the Slave Suite is not one of those people that is just a button pusher or just a like, all right, yeah, we on the clock. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you book a 7 to 9 and it's a vibe, we might go to 9:15. We might go to 9:20. You know what I'm saying? Like, given I don't got, anything behind or anything, we might, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just happens like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about the music.
Is there any ways that an artist may be able to compensate that's not financial at all? Or is, for you personally, would you always prefer some sort of money in it?
Primarily, I would always prefer some sort of money.
Okay.
But if you're an artist primarily and you have other talents, like you are nice with the camera, or if you, I don't know, you nice with the graphic design, or if you like, I'm open to barter depending on the situation and depending on the circumstance and like it all depends on everything. Yeah. But I'm open to it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to make sense, but I'm open to it because I'm a producer, I'm an engineer, I run a business, there's a lot of stuff that, is needed. You know what I mean? So I'm open.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But something, the last point on this is that, like what you said before, like seeing an artist hustle will make you more inclined to do something like that.
Definitely. Because it just reminds me of me. Like, I done did so much. I done paid my dues that I'll never be in debt again. Like, I done paid dues. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it just reminds me of like me when I used to freaking leave college campus at Mercy and go intern.
You went to Mercy too?
I went to Mercy.
Yeah, I went to one semester. M-Tech?
M-Tech, yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, what year were you there?
No, I did two. I
did one in like a week.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, bro.
In a week?
Yeah, I got it. I got nothing bad to say about Mercy.
Wait, so you never had Perimsky music business?
Nah. No, I wasn't there for that. I was there a sophomore year. I transferred from another college, and then after I realized that I have nothing bad to say about Mercy. I just knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I felt like I wasn't getting enough of that there.
That's it.
That's all it was.
It was a situation, and you could probably attest to this, where your knowledge was well above where they were going.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was nothing. Like, the music program was great. Pardon me. The music program is great now. It was good then, but I've been back and they've upgraded the studio, and this one is there, and like they really took strides to progress. So I definitely like what's going on over there at Mercy
I'm
College.
a proponent of the music business programs personally. I mean, I'm getting my master's in music business at Berkeley, so
You're very biased.
Well, it's also Berkeley online, so it's not the full Berkeley in-person experience. But I would say just like being in that environment and just like going into music business, there's so much different land that you could touch on. My personal program at least touched on like so many different pieces of it. Like I touched on revenue streams, marketing, data analytics, all those sorts of things that are important that it gave me a foundation to work off of. So, it could be worth it if it makes sense for you. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So it's like one of those things, like I'm going into a specific section of the market where like you have to actually apply for things more than maybe like artists or producers might have to like apply for things. So having that credential made sense for me. Right. But it's not necessarily for everybody in the same way. So it might, maybe applying to production, it might make sense if you have a degree in production, that might help you. But
I feel that.
Yeah, for sure.
I look at it like
college.
If you Well, you said F college?
It depends. It depends.
In certain cases, yes. But I will say this: I met some dope people. And I feel like that's what college should be like.
Yeah.
Let's push that. Like, you can meet great people who might, be your business partner, and y'all can make millions together from meeting it. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like they always say this, and I don't agree with it. So I'm gonna flip it and say it's not just what you know, it's who you know. Yeah. Like, it's who you know. You know what I mean?
Probably more than what you know, for being honest.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm not saying this, I'm not totally taking that away, because you gotta know something. You
gotta know your craft.
You gotta know a little something.
Yeah, who you know open the door, but if you want to actually seal a deal, you gotta know a little something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But it's really about who you know, and how that relationship is, how your relationship is with that person. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to keep bridges open on all the chords. Like, regardless of what it is, you could swear that you're never gonna see this person again. We're never gonna have anything to do with each other. Yep. But you never know.
Yeah, I linked with a guitarist that I went to college with that moved to Maryland to help me with the show in New York. Didn't see her for over 2 years, bro. You just never know.
Straight like that.
Shout out Eileen.
The one in Harlem.
Yeah. Facts. Oh yeah, he was there. Yeah,
Eileen was killing that shit. We made that whole show.
Yo,
that's fire.
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, for sure. So, something I want to touch on before,
what's up? We talking
for a fact. So you've mentioned before in another interview that in this industry you have to know how to say yes and forget how to say no. You have to know how to just be like, I could rock with you and navigate it from there. And
you do some research.
For a fact,
you do research. I like that. That's hard.
So that was something that really stuck out to me, because it's like, I mean, that's definitely something that people I feel like would get nervous about. Like, saying yes to something that you don't feel fully prepared for. It's like, and it's a pretty general claim. So if you could like break that down and speak about it a little more, like, what's a situation where you would say yes to something that you might be initially like, oh, maybe, or maybe not you, but somebody else might be initially like hesitant to accept.
Yeah. Man, half of my placements came from situations where say yes, or you're not gonna get it. You know what I mean? I look at it like
in
this.
What situation?
So the first time I did Sway in the Morning.
Shout out that.
That was
2017.
Word, 2017. Yeah, shout, you definitely do, my man. Yo, you know, for real. So first of all, shout out Rod the producer, shout out Kelly, shout out Sway. I was literally, and I feel like I definitely still would have did it, but I'm literally at the barbershop, and anybody that knows me knows I don't do anything if I don't get a haircut. You know what I mean?
Okay, word.
Which is a good motto to life.
Which is why, which is why I chose Monday, because I just got a haircut a couple of days ago, so I knew Thursday probably would have. You know what I'm saying?
It would have went out a bit. Yeah, word. I respect it.
But so I'm literally at the barbershop. Rod calls me. He's like, "Yo, you trying to do Sway tomorrow?"
Trying to do Sway tomorrow?
No. What do you mean? It's tomorrow. I'm not ready. I ain't got no beats. I can't. Click. Straight like that. Until I like had to realize, and as I'm realizing, he called me back. He's like, so do you really not want to do Sway tomorrow? I'm like, nigga, like it's tomorrow. Like, what do you mean? Boom, boom. Like, how? Like, this is Sway in the morning. Like, what are you talking about?
Racing, like as most,
yeah. Like, what am I gonna say? What's my name again? Like all this other stuff. I'm like, all right. But we kind of spoke more on it after the fact. But he was just like, yo, nigga, like, I think you should do it. Like, I'm like, all right. Fuck it, I got a haircut. Let's do it. Like, the hard part's out the way. Nah. So I did it. I did it. I bodied it. I went up there. Sway has the Friday Fire ciphers where artists come up, the producer comes up, they play beats for the artist, they spit. It was dope. It was a whole vibe. So I say that to say, you never know. Put it like this: if it's coming at you, you're ready for it. Because I believe, and facts would show, if you're not ready for it, and if it's not your time, it's not gonna happen. You might not think that you're ready for it. You might not think that you're ready for it, or not ready for it, or prepared for it, or whatever it is. But if it happens, it's for you to go and get it and go embody that straight like that.
Especially if someone presents that idea, that means they think you can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they could have went and got anybody else. It was like, yo, call Ali and see if he want to do it. All right, cool. I'm ready. Let's do it. So that moment was like a real pivotal moment in my career because a lot of things that happened after that were on that type of time. Again,
like one day before, like very close.
One day
type,
before,
like you just gotta get you mentally
right. One day before, things I've never done before. But I might know how to do if I really think hard and apply, like stuff like.
Okay, word.
Another example for you. Again, shout out to PJ. He calls me. He's like, yo, I got this artist. That's coming to look and do a live acoustic, and they need sound. I'm like, all right, on what? Like, oh, on a guitar. I'm like, oh yeah, just come by the stoop. But nah, they want to do it on site at, so you gotta. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of familiar with that, but all right. So I'm talking to, it ends up being Anne Marie out of Chicago. You familiar with Anne Marie from Chicago? Yeah, super dope R&B artist. Real thorough. You know what I mean? Knows what she wants. Shout out to you. Shout out to Mickey, the whole team. Taylor as well, who's the plug. But I say all that to say, like, had I had the mindset on like, oh no, I never did that, but no, I don't do that. That wouldn't have been a placement. That wouldn't have been a credit. That wouldn't have been anything. That wouldn't have been bread. That wouldn't have been, you know what I mean? Like, you missing up on the opportunity. But most importantly, that wouldn't have been the experience and the skill and the know-how for when that situation comes back again. Because it's going to come back around again. And now when it does, you know how to body it now. Now you know how to, you know what I mean? And that was oh my gosh. Like, everything was going against me that day. It was in the city. I didn't have the vaccine, so the studio in the city wasn't trying to let me in. Then I forget the charger for my Apollo. Then what else? It's not a guitar. It's a piano. It's a grand piano. I'm finding this out on the walk-in. Like,
that's the difference.
Okay, all right, cool. But I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I got the know-how to. Nah, we're gonna bring that just in case.
Fuck.
Which one was that?
Damn it. Yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Poncho. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you for tuning in. We're like 45 minutes deep, so that's really dope to see. Unfortunately, when the camera overheated and I went to reset it, I set the focus, and we didn't have Gianni or any other engineer there that day, so there was no one to actually watch the cameras. And when I set the focus, I walked in front of the camera and it knocked it out of focus. So instead of the camera being on Ali, it focused onto the plant behind him, which means the entire second half of the podcast is completely out of focus. So, because of that, we just decided to cut the visuals out of the second half, and that's that. I already apologized to Ali about it. I'm apologizing to you guys now. We will be more on our shit in the future, but don't tune out because he's still saying a lot of valuable shit. There's a lot more gems within the second half of the podcast. We're just gonna throw a simple visualizer under it just to compensate, and yeah, sorry, we'll be more on it in the future. Thank you for watching though, and we're getting started figuring this out, and we will not continue to make these mistakes anymore. So, facts. Camera overheated. My fault. Anyway, we're back. So, your family, they all entrepreneurs.
So yes, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. So it was like, you know, I've always went into any business situation or any situation just over prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know what to expect and what you're going to need. So I had the extra mics. I had the extra stands and stuff to, you know, mic a grand piano and, you know, get that done. But I'm not gonna front. I was when I first got the call, I was like, how am I going to do this? But with the mindset of, you know, this is happening for a reason. Like, you're getting this call for a reason. He called you for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, nah, we're gonna get this done, and we got it done, embodied it. And another side part I gotta learn. I gotta say this. The recording itself was bad. That's what we were talking. A lot of things about that day just, you know, wasn't in place. You know what I mean? Like, the recording was not the best. You know what I mean? So I forget the website, but there's this site out there that, you know, will take apart vocals and music and just,
yeah. I know.
You know what I mean?
I don't know the website. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I got put onto that, and it was like game changer, lifesaver. So yeah, we got it done. Always say yes, guys. Always say yes.
Always say yes.
There you go.
Nah, yeah.
Bye. You have anything else to ask?
Shoot, man. Whatever it is. Whatever. Shoot. We here.
Yeah, all right, bet. So another thing you mentioned in the past is that you have your second passion is after music, or maybe even before music. I think you mentioned it was your second passion is the business side of the industry.
Yes.
Whatever that means for you, you know, the business side of the industry. So how do you fulfill that passion of yourself now? Like, how do you navigate that? I know you have your own studio, so maybe that's a big part of it. So just wondering how you move around that and just fulfill that part of yourself that's really into that. You know what I mean? Because that's a rare thing, I would say. You know what I mean? To have that that on both sides, you really like appreciate that. So
no, definitely. Yeah. And that's really the reason I became a producer. Was mainly because, like, business is in my blood. You know what I mean? So I don't wanna, like, put it like this. I saw the consumer side of it, and I saw the business side of it. I saw what I could be putting out, but I also saw what I could be bringing in. You know what I mean? So I, you know, chose to stay on the side of what I could be bringing in, which minimized what could be put out. So, you know, me being, you know, or having, you know, the family that I have kind of, you know, set off the light bulb for me to even think that way. But I knew even though I got little balls and all that, you know what I mean? I knew I didn't want to be a rapper. Mainly because I like being behind the scenes. I like being, you know, the curator, the one, like, I like when people be like, yo, who did that? Like, okay, I like that. Yeah. Like, that's a feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, it's dope. Because one, you really don't know, but something that you're hearing or that you're feeling is making you want to initiate the cognitive that's going on up here and saying, I need to inquire about what's going on.
Word.
You know what I mean? So I like to have control of that element of surprise for whoever is listening to what they're listening to. You know what I mean? But business for me in this sense is studio. Like, you know, thankfully I do music full time.
Yeah.
You know,
Fire.
And, you know, shout out to the job that I had that fired me. You know what I mean? But everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason. and it couldn't have came at the most perfect time either, you know. I feel like 2021 was like a year of pockets. A year of everything that is going on in your life is going to be put into pocket and put into place. And I feel like it was a couple of years before then that, you know, I've had some similar examples, but I feel like this year was the year that really, you know, kind of weaseled out the things that weren't going to work and really set focus on the things that are and the things that are supposed to be. And the things that are supposed to be here and still standing and still around are. You know what I mean? So that's the focus and that's what we go off of. And, you know, the studio is here. The music is here. You know what I mean? So, and the business is here. So, yes, I produce. Yes, I engineer. Yes, I run a studio. But the business aspect of it has allowed me to look at it from a business perspective and think on a grander scale and think the multiple studios, think the virtual world, think the, you know, website and merch and all of that. And I say all that to say that, you know, AliTheGreatest.com is on its way. You know, merch and all of that stuff is on its way. You know what I mean? Had to, you know, plug a little bit.
Please.
But nah, like it just helped me with the whole branding aspect of it because it's like, and I'm not gonna front, going into this, it was just like, oh yeah, I'm a producer and all I need is one. I'm gonna get that hit and then that's it.
I think every producer starts out thinking
that's what it started out as. And it was just like, and that's still gonna come. You know what I mean? Shoot, it's happened. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna come on a grander scale, but there's other avenues to work. You know what I'm saying? Like there's other lanes to tap into. There's other things to do. There's other, like, I like advocating. I like speaking. I like, you know, the podcast setup. I like being the person to, this is never more realer. Remember when J. Cole said, I'm little bro and big bro all at once? And I think it was like a 21 Savage song.
I'm little bro, big bro all at once.
Like I could relate. Like I'm the little bro. But I'm also the big bro when, yo, how do I do this and how do I do that?
Yeah.
But I'm also on the phone like, yo, bro, how do I do this and how do I?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But that's how I was brought up. Fortunately enough for me, I was around other creatives and around other, you know, musicians that I could just pick up a phone and call, you know, a rod and be like, yo, nigga, how do I get my drums to sound like the ones that's on fucking Password? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do I?
For sure.
How do I do that?
Resonate with that for a fact because it's like I love to be like, at times the dumbest person in the room because it allows you to have that sort of access to information, be able to be the question asker, and versus, you know, and I also at times like to be the smartest person in the room or just somebody that's able to answer questions so that, you know, you can practice delivering information as well. So navigating both of those roles is definitely an amazing place to be in, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, you know, some people talk about spend a third of the time being the smartest person and a third of the time being in the middle and some third of the time being the dumbest, you know what I mean? So I try to navigate it like that as well too.
I feel it. It's
not
a balance.
that there's an objective and one or the other, but like just to think about it in that way where you can navigate rooms in that way. So
it's definitely a balance.
So I have one last question for you.
Okay.
If you're an artist today, you have a lot of different avenues to get beats.
Mm-hmm.
You can go on YouTube. You can work with producer. I mean, those are the main two, BeatStars, anything like that.
Right.
For artists just starting out, would you recommend that they either go on the YouTube route, leasing, or connect themselves to a producer? What do you think would take them further?
Well, what will take you farther is definitely linking with a producer and building something. Yeah. That'll definitely take you farther, without a doubt.
Really?
But I say, you know, there's a time and place for everything. So if you woke up one day and decided, hey, I want to rap, I wouldn't hit up off the gate a producer and say, yo, I want to, you know what I mean? One, because it's going to cost more. It's going to cost more. Straight up. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you have the resources and you ready to, you know, go all in and dive all in, then by all means, you know what I mean? But if you're just getting your feet wet and you're not sure if this is what you really want to do, there's nothing wrong with going on YouTube and listening to some beats, trying different flows, rapping on them, and you know what I mean? Because along the way, and as you do that, you're going to find that one that's like, nah, this is the one. but this is the one that I want to go to the studio and do.
Yeah.
This is the one that, yo, I might need to hit up Ali and be like, yo, I need a vibe like this. Or I might need to hit a Poncho and be like, yo, I need a vibe like this. Or hit a Dame Cozy and be like, yo, I need a vibe. Or that, you know what I'm saying? It's like you might need to, you got to just figure out what you want to, do and what the intention is. But you might cross that path.
That definitely makes sense, because it's like you gotta like sort of obviously play with beats and sounds a little bit before you find that sound that you want to invest in and spend a lot of time with. Like you don't want to act too early. If you just started rapping, this is one of the first producers I hear and I like his sound, and then put all your time into that. You know what I mean? So it's like it definitely makes sense to play with that a little bit before you invest your time and energy.
Because you might not even know yourself. You might not even know yourself. You're gonna go to this producer who's main lane is this, but can do XYZ, and y'all might be cooking and boom, and then 3 hours later it's like, yo, I don't even like this record.
Yeah.
I don't like how my voice sounds on that or on this. You know what I mean?
Drill beat, like when
And you done paid for it already. You done got the record, it's mixed or whatever, or whatever the situation is, and now it's like, money down the drain, back to square one.
But at some point, it's probably worth investing your time or energy into like a specific producer that help you craft that sound that knows you super well.
Definitely.
And that can really build that for you.
Definitely.
And I know, you've done that for artists like Chon Chon.
It's cool that you think that. I feel like a lot of artists don't see value in that.
Yeah.
So because YouTube's so accessible.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's just like, and this is why we got to ask ourselves, like as creatives and as artists and, as people of this culture, do we want everything that everybody else has? Do we really want everything that everybody else has? You don't know how many of the same YouTube beats that I have on my computer. I'm just speaking the facts. I'm just speaking. And this goes from people that I know, people that were once in my circle or in my circle, to people that I recorded for the first time. It's just like, when you go on YouTube and you see the little red line under the video on the thumbnail, it's like, oh, yeah, I got that already.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called because, certain YouTube converters changed the name, but whatever. Like, it's there. You know what I mean? But, again, going back to my last point, it's about the intention. Like, I've had sessions and client. I work with a wide range of different artists that go in with different intentions. I work with a pastor. One of my clients is a pastor from Long Island. Shout out to the apostle. She does multiplication raps. And she's nice, by the way. She's nice. But she's a pastor, she's a teacher, but this is something that she's known for from her students for 20 years ago, who said, you know what, they've been asking me for it, I'm gonna come and just play it down. And now, being that happened, this is about to become a part of curriculum for where she's bringing it to. You know what I mean? So it's all about what you want to do and how you want to facilitate. And you know what I mean? Like, it could be like, yo, I'm a songwriter and this is just what I wrote, but I just want to hear my vocals on this. This is not for me, but I just want to be able to present it for somebody. You know what I mean? I want to build my portfolio as a songwriter. Here's some references that I did. Bang. You know what I mean? So it all depends. Like, not everybody that comes into the studio wants to be a rapper or wants to be the next thing. You know what I mean? So
that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Word.
All right, that's all the questions I got. We got this jar. Random creative questions. Yeah, let's pull out.
That's where we get fun.
I'm gonna pull out 4.
You're gonna pull them out for him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna read them.
So.
Because I need to read them in like a mad dramatic way.
Okay, bet. So
Yeah,
you wanna,
so-
I like
facts.
when you read them
Yeah,
too.
facts.
All right, bet. Yeah. Let me read 2 of them.
Mr. You here take. Yeah, you take
Facts.
your 2.
All right, bet. I got you.
All right. Mr. Ali,
All right.
question number 1.
What's happening?
If you could, we had this question last time. If you could snap your fingers and master any skill, what would that skill be?
That's a great question. If I could snap my fingers and master anything, it'd be that question.
It'd be that question.
That's a really great question, and I really want to give a great answer. I would say I would want to master.
If you have to give two,
we got
give
him.
two.
Does it have to? Does it have to be like an actual like thing? Or
Yeah, it
could
can't be like
a-
fire bending or some shit. Like it's gotta be like.
I was about to get on my
Something
superhero
weird.
shit. I could see through walls now. Nah, if I could master any skill, shoot, why not start with what's home? Producing.
Okay.
If I could master producing,
Producing as in subset of producing. Like get a little bit more specific. Like
if I could, I don't know. I want to just say producing as a whole, because I'm looking
Yeah.
at it like from like a Quincy Jones perspective. I'm looking at it from like a Timbo perspective.
Timbo is like a
You know what I'm
master
saying?
of producing for you.
master,
Word.
master
Give
producing.
another example.
a
As
Herbie,
part of it.
a Herbie Hancock. You know what I'm saying? Like jazz legend, music legend. Like these are guys that like mastered their craft.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like on some, you know, the Rick Rubins of the world. You know,
Okay,
just
yeah.
sitting on the couch and just listening to. You know what I mean? Like I wanna. I intend to get to that level. You know what I mean? Where it's just beyond the name, beyond the legacy, but really just narrowing in on the skill set and just saying like, nah, that's not that. That needs to be there. That just for that. Okay, cool. I'm gonna leave this over here. So what we got over here now? Okay, that's that. You know what I mean? Like just to be
Yeah.
able to like eat, sleep, live, drink. Your blood in your veins is flowing, just music and sonics and just, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I do. I feel you.
I'm gonna go
I feel
from
you.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy with that answer for sure.
Mr. Cruz.
I'm gonna ask the second one. All right. What do you want your legacy to be as an artist? What do you want your legacy to be as an artist?
What do I want my legacy to be? I want my legacy to be everything, because the reason why I do everything that I'm doing today is for my legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Dame.
articulate what that means to you.
I got you.
Where
Dame,
adjectives that describe
Dame
that.
said it best. You know, we hustle for our last name and not our first name.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, I'm the only person in my name with the legal last name Ali. So everyone that comes after me will be an Ali.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So to explain that and to dive a little deeper in that, I want to be known, you know, it's undeniable music. So the music and everything that I put out is undeniable beyond the brand. You know what I mean? So that's a given. But I want to be known as, remembered as that person that really gave a fuck about the culture. That person that really was for the people. And that person that was really like, nah, I'm not selling out. No, I'm not going that way because I know what it could do if I do to what's going on over here. Like, I want to be remembered for like everything that I stand for as a person. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's tied to me and everyone that knows me knows that it's about the music. And I'm getting that on the t-shirt before we leave here. But yeah, to make that in a nutshell.
I hear that for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As seriously, this is the perfect last question. Ooh. I wanted facts.
So you want me to say this one?
Yeah, you can say that one.
I bet. What do you never want to do again in your career? Like what's a mistake that you've done that's like you never want to do that again in your career? Like something that you, whatever that could be.
What do I never want to do in my career? What's the worst thing I ever did? I'm
happy we
I'm trying
got
to think of
this
something
one.
good because I did some shit.
I'll tell you mine. It might inspire yours.
Please do.
Blackout while hosting a show. Yep.
He blacks out from like 2 drinks though.
No,
have like 2 drinks and be like, I'm
that's
blacked
cap.
How
Yeah,
many
it was
drinks do you have in the episode?
in the episode.
Yeah.
What episode? What are you talking about?
I assume that
in
you
the
meant-
show.
yeah,
No. This was a showcase I hosted. It was 14 artists. They all paid to get in. It was $500 for the first place winner. I got drunk as shit and announced the wrong winner to the contest.
I don't know. I thought you were talking about the podcast. You told me
Yours takes the cake. Yours definitely takes the cake.
Yeah, that's different. That's different.
I did black out once in a podcast too. This is
Yeah,
why I
that's what I
stopped.
thought you were
I haven't
talking
drank
about.
in 6 weeks.
It is.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons.
I'm gonna catch up.
Yeah. That was not it. Burned a lot of bridges that night.
Something I don't want to do again. All right, I guess we got to take it back to interning days.
Oh shit! Yep.
So
Going on those runs.
the runs. Shout out to Funk Flex on High 97. I used to intern for Funk Flex.
Oh, really?
Word.
Back in, what is this, 2012, 2011. So I used to blog at the station for influxwetrust.com Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Okay.
Every week, and I did that for months. And I had no weekend for months.
What did that look like? A blog from Ali?
It was we would just, so my category was news. So my category was news. So anything like news related, anything
in hip hop specifically, or just
just like top stories.
Yeah,
it
and
was
music, but music though.
No, it could have been like
Could be anything.
anything.
Yeah.
Anything news related. It could have been, music as well too. But yeah, anything like news, related. So it was like a gift and a curse, because I would sneak a couple of posts in, for this is such and such's new single, or this is such a I didn't really do singles like that, but like if it was somebody that was connected and I could, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never made no bread or nothing off of it. It was strictly the homies. You know what I mean? But I just like doing that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like at first it was like, what the fuck? But even still throughout, it was still like, what the fuck? But throughout it all, I knew the purpose that it served. You know what I'm saying? Like, it put me in the room. It gave me something to put on the resume. It gave me you know what I mean? Like, it gave me when I actually met Flex, it gave me like, yo, I blogged for your site.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, what's up, man? Like, it gave me that. You know what I mean? Which leads to the, people work with who they like and it led to that. Oh no, he's with us. He's good. It gave, you know what I mean? Like even to this day, it's like, yo, it's love.
I love that terminology, getting in the room. Like for me, like that's one of the things that stuck out to me the most from like a lot of my online mentors or real life mentors, just getting in the room. Like that, just thinking about it in that way, like what rooms can you get into, who you're surrounding yourself with, what conversations you have on the upside. So like I definitely appreciate that side of it as well.
Right.
Like, anything that you could do to get in the room. But like I guess to bring it back to what we were talking about, you said like why would that be the thing that you, or not getting in the room part, but like what you're talking about now, like why wouldn't you want to do that in moving forward?
Well, now I wouldn't want to do that now, just because schedule's a little tighter.
Yeah.
So
So, the
that would
blogging
really be
part
a
of it, or
conflict.
just like
I would say the time.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't
putting the
necessarily
time.
the blogging part. It was really like the time. Because not for me, like all through life, really, when I could like be outside, like I was in the stew. Like I was at somebody's, if I didn't have my own, I was at somebody's stew or somebody's session or somebody's crib cooking up something. Like it was like, so I missed that element. Like that's when, we out of school, so everybody's free. Weekends so I'm at my boy's crib or they at my crib so I lost that element. Or I would, still be there, but I'd be over there in the corner on my computer like this. You know what I mean? So because of that, yeah, I would say that.
Word.
But to
I hear
piggyback off of another point you made before you get to the last question, I feel like this is about to be some shit right here. I feel like this is about to be some shit. Damn, what was I gonna say? Get in the room. When you get in the room, it's not about what they can do for you. It's about what you can do for them.
That's a
Like
fact.
you want to make yourself valuable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
on
for just simply because you want to stay in the room. If you're
Yeah.
of service and you're valuable, I'm gonna keep you right here because I need you now.
Why you're in the room to begin with.
If you're always
Facts.
taken, then it's
Exactly. I need you now. You know what I mean? So, just with that approach, it's, what can I offer you? Can I get you something? How are you feeling? What do you need? Like, you know what I mean? There's a balance. You don't want to be like the yes man. But at the same day, it's like, why you there.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like assume position and step up to the role. You know what I mean?
For a fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Take a drink for this.
Mr. Ali, how are you doing tonight?
I mean, you know, I'm out here.
Yeah. Okay. The final question for the night. Why do you think so many artists fail?
I feel like there's a lot of different answers that would be suitable for this question.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the key word in that question that you asked was you. So why do I think a lot of artists fail? I think a lot of artists fail. And I feel like let's get this out the way first. The cliche answer would be, oh, the industry and, they don't know what's good for them, or they ain't fucking with my shit. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that could be the case, but it's 2021 now. We live in a different world. Access is at our fingertips.
It's direct to consumer now.
I know artists that are doing lovely, and if I walk down the block and be like, yo, you know such and such? They'd be like, nope. Yo, what about you? You know such and such? Nope. What about you? You know? Nope. Music connoisseurs, you heard of? Nope. But they're doing lovely. It's simply because an artist doesn't recognize his or her niche. Everyone has a niche market. Everyone has a niche audience. Let's take Tone Trump, for example. A Muslim artist. There's nobody in this industry right now. Let me scratch that, because I've heard some records as of late, and there's a few artists that are on, the mainstream that are, starting to claim their Islamic background, that are starting to, use a lot of Islamic terminology in their ad-libs and in their, you know what I mean? Nobody did that before Trump. I'm going to just say it now. I would know. But a lot of artists don't realize their niche market. A lot of artists don't navigate and execute their niche market and pay attention and go to their niche. Tone. There's nobody that looks like us. There's nobody that looks like us, that dresses like us, that does what we do, and that deans and that's on their spiritual or their religious or whatever you want to call it. There's nobody that's out here moving like that. Cool, comfortable, calm, and collective like him. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, I don't know what the reason is, but there's nobody that's doing that. That's something that a light bulb must have went off and said, you know what? Not only is this who I am, but this is something that I can bring to the people because it's needed. Like, let's scratch the niche for a second. This is needed. When I was growing up, I was ashamed to be Muslim. Let's be real. I didn't like Ahmad Najee Ali as my name. It was like, what? I wanted my last name to be like Jones, like it's like the regular person, or like a Williams, or like I didn't understand it at first. My mom's name was Crump. I come from the Crumps and the Cruises. Why is my name Ali? Why am I the only one? You know what I mean? So I didn't understand that. Now, fast forward, life happens. I get it now. But what about that other little boy who was 5 years old, who was in first grade, that is Muslim and nobody else is around him? All the other kids is like, why's your name Ahmad? Or why's your name this? And he don't know how to understand that. But you got somebody to look up to, and you got somebody that's out here doing what they do and saying, nah, it's cool. It's cool. It's okay. Like, but you don't have to be the type of Muslim or the type of, Christian even, or person that is the traditional. Because you got your traditional Muslims, you got your traditional Christians that, and Jews and Israelites and whatever religion you want to, throw it. You got your traditional, person that'll, no, you can't do this and you can't say that and you can't do that. It's like, no, Allah's the best knower. Islam is about the intention. You know what I'm saying? So you on your deen, you treating everybody how they supposed to be treated. You putting out that good in the world. You getting that good back. Like, that's what it's about. It's not really about, you know, how you look or how you dress or what your kufi look like or what your hijab like. It's not about any of that. It's about what you're putting out into this world. You know what I mean? So, like, that's the focus point. Straight like that.
So artists not having the self-awareness to tap into that or just refusing to, you think that's...
Artists not... So, that was a question. Sorry. You did say it was a good question. It was. But not really artists not focusing and recognizing their niche. But not only not focusing and recognizing their niche, not executing it, not knowing how to throw their own shows, not knowing how to, you know, prep for a release and do a release and, you know, shoot the content and put a whole package and press run and all of the things together. Like, I feel like a lot of those missing pieces would be the reason why a lot of artists don't get to where they want to go.
So it's like knowledge at the end of the day?
I would say knowledge. I would say knowledge, know-how. I'm not going to single-handedly say team. Team helps. Team definitely helps. But I know one-man bandmans out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Swizz for that album title. But I know, you know what I mean? So it's like, and that's one thing that I've seen too. It's like, you got to do it. Like, you can't always have an idea or have something that you want to do or a plan that you want to execute and say, all right, this is what I want to do. I need everybody on board. I know a lot of people that don't work like that. I'm one of them. Like, I want to see something. Like, you want me to
actually, that's a great fucking point. There's so many people that, like, say shit like, oh, they don't support me. They don't support my ideas and shit. Like, why should they support you? What have you done to make them support you?
You got to give them a reason.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, people need to see what you out here doing. Like, if you think nobody's watching, half of everyone is. I'll say it one more time. If you think no one is watching, half of everyone is. Everyone may not be watching you, but there's a large portion of people that are. You might not see it in the likes. You might not see it in the comments. You might not see it on the views.
But they are.
They watching. People scroll and stuff. Shoot, I'm guilty. I don't like everything I see, but I saw it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I still saw it. Whether I actually paid attention or not, I still saw it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like all of those elements, amongst some, are why artists don't get to where they go. Also, another thing, being that we're talking about it, it's the consistency. Like, you can't put out a song top of the year and then put some out at the bottom of the year and be like, yo, what's my deal? Like, nah, it's got to be consistent. Like, if you make music, put it like this. I feel like a lot of us, and I say us because I'm a product of this as well, we get caught up in the hype sometimes. We get caught up in the like, oh, nah, I'm gonna put this, I'm going to put all of everything into this one, knowing that I got like 3 other ones over there, 3 other projects, 3 other singles, whatever you want to call it. I got 3, whatever, waiting, but I'm going to put all of this into one. Let's be real. Let's really be real for a second. Let's allocate all of our resources with everything that needs to be out and needs to go, because it's about consistency. We don't know what this is going to do. We can have every intention about what this is going to do, but we don't know. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give this the same amount of attention and resources that I'm going to give that. And then I'm going to give that the same amount of resources and attention that I'm going to give that. And then next and so on and so forth. So when time actually does catch up, you can see my repertoire. You can see what I've done. It's like, nah, I done did this. I done did that. I done did this. I done did that. Boom. This is where I'm at.
That's such a big reason why, like, so much art doesn't take off, just because it's not nurtured enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough poured into it. That's major. That's major.
Like, work that single, work the album. Did you shoot a video? Did you do content? Did you do this? Did you, like, being that everything is so accessible now, like, there's a lot of work an artist has to do.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. There's a lot of work. I get it. There's a lot of work. You know what I mean? But what are you gonna do to separate yourself from the artist that's recording from you, that's recording next to you down the hall in the other studio that might sound a little better? He might have actually been doing it longer than you. So what are you gonna do that's gonna separate yourself? It could be simple, a little simple thing like getting up at 7 a.m. versus 10. Let me stay at the stool for a little bit longer. Let me, whatever it is. But us as artists have to recognize what we have, be consistent with what we have, nurture with what we have, and then keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, do it for the love. If this is really who you are, this is really what your passion is, do it for the love. If you're passionate about it, simple as that.
Hell yeah.
One more point. Can I?
For a fact.
Yeah.
Please do.
There's a lot of creatives in the world. We're going to start with the world and then we're going to narrow. So there's a lot of creatives in the world. There's a lot of creatives in the country. There's a lot of creatives in the state. But I still feel like the dopest creatives come from the 914. I've been to the LAs. I've been to the Torontos. I've been to the Atlantas, the Miamis, the Charlottes, where, you know what I mean? Like the Cancuns even. I'm in Cancun. I see dude with a joint. He's spitting over beats. I got the video. It was lit. He's spitting over beats. But 914, like, there's something special.
Diverse.
This is super diverse. There's something special about 914. There's something, it could be something in the water. Like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But there's something special about 914. And I feel like a lot of us don't connect.
Talk about it.
They
Talk
don't.
about it.
We don't tap in. We don't.
This is probably the number one thing that I've heard through doing the acoustic videos and doing the interviews in the past and the cook-ups and combo series. I'm not joking when I say this, almost every guest, I would say like 85% of guests that came on here said, yo, I appreciate you for connecting people because the 914 is just so disconnected. Like it's very real. It's very real.
Definitely.
And we definitely both endorse that for a fact.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, I get why. Let me start with that. I get why. You know what I mean? I get it.
I don't get why.
It's
I'll keep it a buck.
I get it because on one hand, is this how it should be? No. But I get it. I get it because on one hand, I wear multiple hats. I'm the creative, but I'm also the business at the same time. So on a business aspect, it got to make sense. It got to make sense.
I feel that.
Like I've been doing this long enough, and there's a lot of creatives out here that's been doing this long enough to where it has to make sense. It's got to be, if it's not profitable, it's got to be something that's progressing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like it's I came up with no dead weight. Everybody holds their own. You know what I'm saying? So
That's a blessing.
like that's I get, on one hand I get that. On the second hand, it's the fact that, I feel like it's the fact that everyone thinks that they're the one. Everyone thinks that,
Or their
or
town,
their
city
or their
whatever
their town. This is
their crew.
we GB
or
over
whatever.
here.
Yeah.
We White Plains over
it's
here.
a whole
What's the
county. We're talking
Ville?
about
What's the
Westchester. It's a
Ville?
whole county. Like,
It's a whole county
a
of
whole
cities
big-ass
and
county. So it's
right.
Like,
It's like, but not the one in the sense of like I'm the best, or I'm the one in the sense of like you should be hitting me. I shouldn't be hitting you.
That's that ego shit.
Yo, put your ego to the side, dog. Like, what do you like? I'm gonna tell you this. Over the next 5 years, there's gonna be some Grammys, there's gonna be some Emmys, there's gonna be some major placements. Everyone in the 914 will know how to contact me. Simple as that.
I love that.
That's
So,
it.
Fire.
hey,
Ali.
That's it.
Ali, bro, this is incredible, bro. Thank you so much for pulling up.
Yes,
Yo,
sir.
this is dope.
Yes, sir. This was dope.
Couldn't be happy
I'm
with how
super
this
excited for this to come out. Real quick, could you tell the people where to find you on social media?
Oh, for sure. Ali _ the greatest.
Boom.
Ali ALI _THEGREATEST. It took me a while to learn how to just get that like that.
Yeah, it takes it, bro. It's harder than you think.
I'm
yo.
like spelling and shit. But nah, Ali _ the greatest across all social media. I'm mostly on IG. I answer DMs. Just come correct. Let's work. The Slave Suite at Union Music Studio in White Plains. That's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I'm always working. I'm always somewhere doing something productive. You know what I mean? You might catch me at Cantina on a Friday or a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Pull up there. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like to talk business when I'm outside the studio. Just a little sidebar. But nah, hit the DM. Let's work. Let's make something happen. Especially if you're from the 914, man. Like, and I'll say this: I'm doing a lot with the 914, ending off this year and going into next year. Starting with, I got a record coming with Scotty Trippin, BTB,
Shout out Scotty. Shout out
and my
BTB.
man Cam. You know what I'm
shit,
saying?
I
It's called
was
Stay With
okay.
Me. That'll be out in the next few weeks. Me and Scotty actually over this year we locked in. We got a project done. I'm actually almost done mixing that, so that'll be out as well. But I'm tapping in with the 914. You know what I'm saying? Like, and let's make it make sense. Let's be productive and let's progress.
Yes, sir.
Let's be great. That's
what
it.
we all about.
Hell yeah.
Facts.
All right, so that was the show, episode 6. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said before, if you're an artist, musician, creative, serious about your career, really trying to take it to the next level and turn it into a full-time business, tap in with the community. Like I always say, we're trying to build this community up to be just a bunch of creatives who are serious, that can support each other and grow, connect, and that's really what a majority of this podcast is for. So tap in, subscribe if that's you, and yeah, appreciate you tuning in. And it's my fucking birthday, so I'm gonna enjoy the last.
It's Poncho's birthday in this
You
bitch.
told us that like 3/4 of the way through. That wasn't on camera,
Yeah,
bro.
facts,
Happy
yeah,
birthday,
facts.
Poncho.
Happy
Thank you
birthday
so
to
much.
Poncho, man.
Happy
I'm
24.
real. Facts, I'm 24. I'm gonna enjoy the last 56 minutes of my birthday.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, that's
Happy
what it is.
birthday, Poncho.
There it
And Ali for pulling up. This is a great episode.
Yes,
so.
I don't know if y'all might want to use this for a drop or something, but I'm gonna just say this. So what Poncho and Cruz are doing right now with bringing the information and everything to us, to the culture, something that hasn't been done to this accessibility one, but to this level. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, you know, is doing podcasts and talking about, you know, relationships and, you know, this, that, and the third. But these are the things that don't get talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the questions that don't get asked. You know what I'm saying? Like what y'all doing as far as just really bringing the information, and the know-how for artists to navigate in a room. Do I talk? Do I not talk? Do I move? Do I not move? Like that's the shit that they really need to know. You know what I mean? So like I commend y'all for what y'all do. Keep progressing. Thank you for having me. You know what I mean? And
Bro,
hey,
fire.
bro,
we
I
here.
appreciate you so much, bro. That extra little note right there, that whole cherry on top, bro. That's a whole
for
extra
sure.
validation, bro. So thank you so much, bro.
Thank you, man.
You know that for a fact. Birthday, Poncho.
Yeah, happy birthday, man. How do you like just...
Bro, I forget, bro.